dire wolves went extinct over 10,000 years ago. Now, thanks to breakthroughs in genetic science, they're back. Scientists have successfully engineered and birthed the first dire wolf pups using gene editing, cloning, and ancient DNA. These aren't distant experiments or concepts stuck in the lab. This is happening now, and it's real. The return of this legendary predator opens up an entirely new frontier in science, conservation, and ethics. Here's how it happened, why it matters, and what it means for the future of life on Earth. While climate change grabs headlines, there's another equally urgent crisis unfolding: the biodiversity crisis. The numbers are staggering. By 2050, scientists estimate that half of all species alive today could be extinct. Extinction is not new. It's always been part of Earth's natural history. But the rate at which it's happening now, 1,000 to 10,000 times faster than normal, is not natural. It's driven by habitat loss, pollution, overexploitation, invasive species, and climate change. And most of all, it's driven by us. This rapid loss doesn't just threaten animals, it threatens us. Healthy ecosystems provide clean air, water, fertile soil, pollination, food security, disease control, and even climate regulation. When species vanish, these systems begin to break down, and when that happens, human life becomes much more fragile. What's more, many of the species vanishing now are disappearing before we even fully understand their role in the environment. Entire branches of life are being pruned from the tree of biodiversity in real time, often without a clear sense of the long-term consequences. This is why new approaches are urgently needed. Traditional conservation methods, while vital, are no longer enough on their own. We need innovation, disruptive ideas that can complement and amplify existing strategies. That's where the biotech team comes in. Their audacious goal? To make extinction itself extinct. Say de-extinction, and most people immediately think of Jurassic Park. But the biotech team's work is far from fiction. Instead of resurrecting dinosaurs, they're using powerful genetic tools to restore recently extinct species that, in many cases, disappeared because of human activity. The focus isn't just on spectacle, it's on restoration. Every species plays a role in its ecosystem, like a block in a Jenga tower. Pull too many out, and the whole structure collapses. Predators like wolves are especially critical. Their reintroduction in Yellowstone didn't just control prey populations. It reshaped entire landscapes, brought back beavers, restored rivers, and rebalanced ecosystems. With that in mind, the biotech team's first major de-extinction project zeroed in on a species long gone, but once essential: the dire wolf. Far from being a fantasy, dire wolves were real and formidable. Bigger than modern wolves, they roamed the Americas for hundreds of thousands of years. Fossil records show that they lived in diverse environments, from snow-covered plains to dense woodlands. They hunted in packs, likely using strength and cooperation to bring down prey much larger than themselves. They weren't just apex predators. They were keystone species, meaning their presence shaped entire ecosystems. When a keystone species disappears, the ripple effects are enormous. Prey populations boom, vegetation changes, and the entire balance can collapse. Beyond their ecological role, dire wolves held deep cultural significance for many indigenous peoples throughout the Americas. They appeared in myths, oral traditions, and even ceremonial art. Reviving this species, then, is about more than biology. It's about reconnecting with lost chapters of our shared story, with nature. But that required solving one of biology's greatest puzzles: how to rebuild an extinct animal from fragments of ancient DNA. The scientific challenge was monumental. The team began with two rare fossils, a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull fragment. These ancient relics still held traces of DNA, barely intact, highly degraded, but enough to begin. Using advanced genomic extraction techniques, researchers pieced together 2 complete dire wolf genomes. It was a breakthrough moment, the first time anyone had decoded the full DNA blueprint of this extinct species. But decoding was just the beginning. They needed to understand how the dire wolf differed from its closest living relative, the gray wolf. By overlaying both genomes using bioinformatics software developed by FormBio, the biotech team identified hundreds of genetic variations. Among them, one gene stood out, LCORL, strongly linked to body size and growth patterns. In total, they targeted 14 key genes and made 20 specific edits to replicate the dire wolf's defining traits: enormous body size and dense musculature, thick, light-colored coat adapted to Ice Age climates, deep-chested vocalizations and resonant howls, increased endurance for long-distance pack hunting. To accomplish these edits, they employed a cutting-edge technique known as multiplex gene editing. This allowed them to modify multiple regions of DNA simultaneously, rather than one by one. It was a delicate, high-risk process that required precise coordination, robust error checking, and a deep understanding of mammalian development. This wasn't just trial and error. It was pushing the boundaries of what's scientifically possible and creating a genetic foundation on which the dire wolf could live again. Once the gene edits were complete, scientists had to turn modified cells into actual animals. They used somatic cell nuclear transfer, the same technique that brought us Dolly the sheep. They took egg cells from dogs, removed their DNA, and inserted the edited dire wolf DNA. These embryos were then implanted into large surrogate dogs. Why large? Because the biotech team didn't yet know how big the dire wolf pups would be. Health and safety were top priorities. And then it happened. On October 1st, 2024, the first 2 genetically engineered dire wolf pups were born, Romulus and Reheis. In January 2025, a third pup, a female named Kisi, joined them. Each one is expected to grow up to 6 feet long and weigh 150 pounds. These pups aren't being released into the wild, not yet. Instead, they're living on a protected 2,000-acre ecological preserve. The location remains secret for the animals' safety. They have it better than most pets. Natural habitats with dens, a shelter for harsh weather, 24/7 veterinary care, teams ensuring socialization and well-being. And behind the scenes? A vast network of experts, local governments, indigenous communities, landowners, and conservationists, all working together to ensure that this revolutionary process is done ethically, safely, and sustainably. The biotech team isn't stopping at wolves. Their goal is to revive the woolly mammoth, the thylacine, Tasmanian tiger, and the dodo. But even more importantly, they're applying these technologies to prevent endangered species from going extinct in the first place. Take the red wolf, one of the most endangered canids in North America. Using techniques developed from the Dire Wolf Project, the biotech team has cloned 4 healthy red wolves, injecting fresh DNA into a gene pool that had become dangerously shallow. This work shows that de-extinction isn't just about the past. It's a toolkit for the future, a way to preserve biodiversity, build ecological resilience, and restore balance in a rapidly changing world. What once seemed like science fiction is now science fact. With each breakthrough, we move closer to a world where extinction is not an ending, but a pause we can learn to reverse. Bringing back the dire wolf isn't just about nostalgia, it's about responsibility. We caused many of these extinctions. Now, with the tools to reverse them, we also have the moral duty to act. This is a story of biology, technology, and second chances. It's a story of how a team of visionaries refused to accept loss as the final word, and how a single howl in the night might just echo a better future for us all. Enjoyed this story? Then don't forget to hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We bring you mind-blowing science, untold nature stories, and glimpses into the future of life on Earth. There's plenty more to come, so stay tuned.